That's my hilarious impression of Anastasia Steele every other scene. $50 of Grey. I never once got a boner. Sad, sad story. I walked into this film thinking like, yeah, it's not gonna be the greatest. I at least wanted to walk away thinking like the sex was fucking hot though. I'm disappointed to report that I almost fell asleep a few times. Not once in my life have I ever come close to falling asleep during a sex scene. I'll admit at first, like the first 30 minutes, I was like, yeah, it's not a good film, but it's cheesy, it's fun. I couldn't stop laughing, kept pissing off my girlfriend because she was really enjoying it. But don't fucking go with your girlfriend if you know it's gonna be bad. But honestly, after like 30 minutes, the laughs for me just stopped and I started getting really bored. This film is like Hollywood's definition of trying to be edgy. Honestly, in my opinion, it's not that edgy. Here's my biggest issue with the film: the sex. Maybe I've become immune to this kind of sex from watching dominating porn. Some of the best porn there is. James Dean, not the actor, the porn actor James Dean. Fantastic, he's in a lot of them. And I've actually met people who do this kind of stuff, but the way all the sex was captured, it felt like really Hollywooded out. Hollywood. It could have been raw, it could have been edgy, authentic, but instead it was like glamorized. Like with the music, the fade-ins, the fade-outs, kind of montaging it. Like yes, the sex is more heavy-handed than a typical Hollywood flick. Sure. Yet, I feel like they played it way too safe. Like, why was he even wearing a fucking condom? I don't care if that's in the book. Condoms are not necessary. All they do is get in the way. I also blame it on the actors for not really having chemistry. It just felt like actors being put into sex scenes. It didn't feel like characters feeling really hot and heavy. Like the first act when Anastasia and Grey begin to know each other was like, what the hell is happening right now? Why are they so infatuated with each other? Why are they so obsessed exactly? I don't get what's going on. It was funny, but it was still like, what the fuck is happening right now? Jamie Dornan as Christian Grey. Okay, let's be honest. He is so whatever in this role. I just don't see what the appeal of this dude is. The dude at one point says he's good with people, yet this guy had barely any charm. He was so fucking serious the whole time. From my understanding, he's supposed to be someone who kind of confuses the audience. Like at times he's just really charming and then the next moment he'll be really angry. Like he would have like mood swings that were really contained. But in the film, he was just primarily a serious dude. This guy was clearly playing notes. He didn't have like a three-dimensional performance. I don't need to hear a lot of its background or something, but you can still have layers of depth to your role, even in the silent moments. I can just feel the director telling every actor, do it like this, do it like this. Dakota Johnson as Anastasia Steele, she's actually not bad in the film. I felt like she handled whatever direction was given to her pretty well. Honestly, it might be the best thing out of this movie, her performance. She gets the awkward, shy thing down in a more authentic way compared to like Kristen Stewart in Twilight. Only reason I'm doing that is because this is supposed to be like Twilight fan fiction, so it's okay to compare for you people who are like, stop doing it. I mean, there were the occasional moments where it still felt a little forced, but overall it was better acting than everyone else. But here's the problem. The interaction between Christian and Anastasia. Like I said, in the first 30 minutes, it made no fucking sense. They didn't start off with like sexual chemistry. There's no romantic chemistry. I get that, yes, there's supposed to be two different people and they're supposed to be awkward, but chemistry should still be present, especially when these two are going apeshit over each other. They didn't meet halfway when it came to their performances. It was like he did his thing and she did her thing, and she did her thing a lot better than he did his thing. Did his thing. I feel like there's a sex joke here. I also felt there was like no real fucking story. There was nothing like ever at stake. There's no real external conflict, and there's no real internal conflict with the characters either. The film wasn't an exploration of the unusual sex world. There wasn't a like romantic story being felt. It was like watching two people go about their lives and boning a little bit harder than before. Even though I didn't expect much from this movie, I guess I'm a little upset because I saw a lot of potential. You hear about Christian Grey's sexual past when he was 15. You find out Anastasia's a virgin. And then honestly, like, this is just one hell of an abusive relationship. Like, exploring that more would have been interesting to me. They kind of touch on it, but not till like close to the end. This film like touches on all those things, but they never met any of them to its like halfway to its potential. It's abusive. This film is really all about that. Like, this Christian Grey guy is not that likable, other than the fact that he's rich and has a lot of toys. But nothing about him was like, I can see why a girl is falling for him. The only way I can see a girl falling for this guy is if she's a victim of abuse and she's drawn to abusive personalities now. Maybe we discover that in the sequels, I don't know. I just felt like there was no real drama until like the last 20 to 30 minutes of this film. People have defended this film though, saying like, that's how it is in the book. First off, I don't give a shit for that excuse when it comes to any adaptation. That's right, I'm standing my ground. Look, this book sold more than Twilight, than Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, more than the Da Vinci Code, which are way more creative books. Sorry to put Twilight in that category, but it is slightly more inventive in my opinion. I'm not saying it's great. I think this film pushes the boundaries in terms of like length of how much sex they expose. And yeah, there's sex scenes in it that are unusual, that we're not used to seeing, especially for such a long period of time. But in terms of like the feeling that you generate from it, it somehow doesn't feel edgy. I'm sure I might have taken this film a little bit more serious because like, I was pissing off my girlfriend the whole time by laughing, so I was like trying to take it seriously. But I think you'll enjoy this film more if you don't take it seriously. All I cared for was a cheesy fun time and to get a little turned on when I was watching some hot sex scenes. But I wound up being bored. And nothing is worse than being bored. Nothing good comes from being bored. Except coming when you're bored. That usually fills the time pretty well. Let me get straight to the point here. All in all, I gotta say 50 Shades of Grey got it flaccidly wrong. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my review for 50 Shades of Grey. Why don't you go to that comment box below and tell me 50 different sex positions. I would love to read all those comments. And last but not least, if you want to get updated every time one of my reviews or videos is out, go ahead and click on this button on my dick to subscribe. That's right. The dick. Let me tell you something about this little Christian. He has sinned through the gray of 50 vaginas. Even I don't understand what that really means.